Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's...
Something's beeping. You good?
Yeah, I sat...
Is that your foot massager?
I stepped on my foot massager. How did you know?
I know that desk, dude. That's hilarious.
Hello, everybody. I'm Cody Troyer.
And I'm Brent Gaisford.
And we are the Hugonauts, here to review and discuss with you the best sci-fi novels of all time, and sometimes also novellas.
Like today, when we're going to tell you about novellas. 8 amazing, great works of short-ish fiction. They're all 7 hours or less on audiobook. Because sometimes you just need something short. Maybe you just read... Anna Karenina, and it kind of broke your spirit a little bit.
And you want to die.
Need to believe in yourself. Yeah. Or maybe Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson have just taken root inside your skull because you tried to read Wheel of Time and you need to break free. So we're here to tell you about some short stuff.
Yes. And we're not going to put these in any particular order, but we will next time be ranking the 2024 Hugo nominees for Best Novel. And we're also going to include some novels from 2023 that we thought maybe should have been on the list. So you can go escape the list if you have to, which you might.
Yeah, there's some good ones this year and some bad ones that are truly terrible. And we will tell you which are which so you can read the good ones.
Yes. So we have one more thing?
Yes. It's book club time.
Yes.
Okay. We on the Discord, we run a book club. If you go to the Discord right now, you can vote on what it will be. The short list is together. You can vote on the book club book.
Yeah, and we'll give you like 6 weeks-ish to read it. So everyone has enough time to get it from Libby, etc. Depending on how long the book is, and we'll release the episode in accordance. And we'll chat about it on Discord too. It's been really fun.
In accordance with the ancient laws. Yes. No, it will be fun. Okay, shall we talk about some great short books?
Okay, first of all, let's start with some honorable mentions. We won't chat about these in depth, probably because we have a million times before, at least with this first one. Story of Your Life by Ted Chiang, the novella that the movie Arrival is based on, and yeah, the greatest short fiction writer. It's incredible. Here's just yet another plug.
Yep, you should all go read Ted Chiang if you haven't already. His books have novellas in them. That's confusing, and I'm just going to leave it like that anyway. H.G. Wells is our other quick and dirty. H.G. Wells is great. If you haven't read H.G. Wells, I Love War of the Worlds. Time Machine is also fun. Island of Dr. Moreau is real spooky, kind of like if you're into H.P. Lovecraft, you'll like Island of Dr. Moreau. The Invisible Man. I don't know who you got to be to like the Invisible Man. Kind of a creep, I guess. But it's great. It's creepy. Anyway, H.G. Wells is great. They're all short. And they're kind of like Frankenstein. Like, they're good and you should read them, Anyway, they're like that.
Yeah. All right. So here's the first one. What's the first one? It is a 2019 novella called This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal, El-Mohtar, and Max Gladstone. And it is a phenomenal, unique piece of fiction. It's about kind of spy v spy, a little less funny, a little more serious, and really gripping romance between two agents from different camps, red and blue, who ride up and down the strands of time, making little butterfly effect changes here and there to try to advance their sides in the war. And it's about the letters they leave.
There's the computer side and the plant side, and they hate each other timelessly and erotically.
Yes. And they use these crazy mediums to write each other letters over time, planting a tree and making it so the rings have text on them after 14,000 years because they know where the other agent will be next. It's wildly inventive, and the prose is almost poetry. It's not a poem, but it's heavy on beautiful, really powerful metaphor. The arcs of the characters are incredible. There's a bunch of really cool, interesting sci-fi concepts that they glance on. The whole core concept is interesting. It's funny at times. I mean, it was a 5 stars for me for sure. It is a very interesting piece of fiction. I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's super well done. It felt like the first like 80% were like something I'd never read, and then the last 20% I was like, oh, okay, yes, time travel book. I get it. I know how we end a time travel book.
Yeah.
But that's how you have to end a time travel book. It's the rules. So like, of course, that's what they did.
I thought it was a stellar choice.
Yeah, because you love that kind of ending, and we can't talk about it because that's spoilers, and then we're not going to do that. But
I do. I really do. Okay,
so
all right.
much.
Let's move on. Let's move on to something time travel. Let's go way back. Let's move on to something that's much older, which is
Day of the Triffids. Is it time for John Wyndham? Okay, so
yeah, it's John Wyndham time.
Day of the Triffids is a short novel, like all these. Okay, so it's a post-apocalyptic / you're seeing the apocalypse unfold live book. It's got to be the inspiration for 28 Days Later. The main character wakes up in a hospital and like everything is too quiet. There's like no traffic sounds from outside. And he like rings the bell. There's no nurses. He's just like alone in this hospital trying to figure out what's going on. He was in for eye surgery, and so he had bandages over his eyes. Suddenly he discovers, as he like explores, everyone else is blind. There was like a crazy thing that happened that we won't talk too much about because like exploring is a fun part of the book, but like everyone's blind. And it turns out that's disastrous. And he's just trying to survive. He meets a heroine who is capable but also needs him, and he needs her, and like, man, it's great.
Do you think that every post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic piece of it, I mean, is this the first one to do the hospital bed wake up thing? I mean, I could think of top of my head.
It is.
We got Walking Dead is literally hospital bed, and then Book of the Unnamed Midwife is regular bed. I mean, I feel like that trope is all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like you wake up and it all ended. You didn't have to go through any of it. It's just now it's happened.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a super good start. Other thing I'll say about the Day of the Triffids, is super trippy. There's like some plants in it that walk around and then they whip you with their stingers, and if they do, you die. And that's just like, that's also a part of it. And that's crazy, because obviously that's crazy. And it all still works. Like, I am bought in. I'm a believer in the Triffids. Everybody knows about those scary walking plants that whip you and kill you. Like, I just bought into it. That's how well they did it. That ridiculous thing landed for me. Yeah,
it's a fun book as well. And also a Norma Jean song. That's how I knew it. Yeah, I didn't even realize it was a book. It was it's a Norma Jean song that used to be my wake up alarm.
Like a metalcore act that Cody loves, but somehow I never got into, actually.
Sure.
I listen to Atreyu every once in a while still, but Norma Jean never stuck.
Let's not get into metal subgenres. I'll never stop.
Are you sure we shouldn't?
Yeah.
But no, seriously, I really can't say enough about Day of the Triffids. It's amazing. Everyone should read it. Okay.
Yeah, totally. Next, actually, we have another metal band derived their whole name from this novel, but we have Cat's Cradle by Kurt Vonnegut, which is a fun, Vonnegut-y, goofy, weird story that's also a great allegory for why we shouldn't kill ourselves, that is about a mysterious weapon called Ice-9, that is a new chemical compound.
Does it kill?
It kills. Ice-9 kills. That's the name of the band. And it follows a group of characters as Ice-9 moves from the U.S. Down to Cuba, and just is a weird, quick story about the folly of humanity, and a good reminder not to, kill ourselves.
Yeah, isn't it weird? We need fiction to remind us of that. We really like almost killing ourselves. We're like, yo, what if we invent, as soon as we figured out how atoms worked, we were like, well, but we could make sweet bombs, right? Like, it took so little time.
Yeah, it's
something's beeping. You good?
Yeah, I sat.
Is that your foot massager?
I stepped on my foot massager. How did you know?
I know that desk, dude. That's hilarious.
I know that desk. Yes. I also almost put, Cat's Cradle's a great Vonnegut to put on here, but there are other great ones. Obviously, Slaughterhouse-Five incredible. And my personal
Slaughterhouse
favorite,
Five is like 2 books. Slaughterhouse Five is a book about World War II and then a book about being in a zoo. And
yeah, and
then I guess
aliens
they're
and
one
time
book.
and
Yeah, I don't know.
what matters about
Slaughterhouse Five
existence.
is the craziest thing ever.
Yeah, it's incredible. My personal favorite Vonnegut is Timequake, but it's a bit of a, I didn't put it over Cat's Cradle because it's so it's like how Grand Budapest Hotel is for Wes Anderson, where if you haven't seen his other movies, you're like, okay, I kind of get that, but if you have, it's so self-referential that it's probably the best one, and that's how Timequake is. Like, it really just doesn't work without having read a ton of other Vonnegut, but if you have, it's at least my favorite. I think it's incredible.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't read Timequake, so you make me excited to read it. Every Vonnegut I've read, I've really liked.
Yeah, you'll like Timequake. You got to check it out. So it goes.
Sweet. So it goes.
Yeah. What's another older
Great
novel
question.
on here?
Babel 17 by Samuel Delany. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So Babel 17 is about a woman who is living on Earth, but there's like a big interstellar situation happening, and there's a war out in space. They're trying to control more area of space. There's 2 big sides, and she needs to go through it all. She needs to penetrate the danger, and so she's got to put a crew together. So you get some like Ocean's 11 style crew assembly stuff where you get to like see all these weird body modified people who do different jobs on the spaceship. My favorite of which is the pilot, who is a dragon, just like all the pilots are of starships. They're humans, but they're dragons. And don't ask too many questions, but they just like got sweet surgery until they're dragons. And then they also do wrestling matches. That's like part of how you see is who's a sweet pilot, is who can like is like the best wrestler, and then that means they're a sick pilot. It's awesome. And there's like a bunch of stuff like that for all the disciplines of space.
And core concept.
Yes, the core concept is incredible. That's the thing that makes this book like truly timeless. It's about what influences how you think, and like whether your thoughts are, how much of your thoughts can like truly be original. And I won't say more about that, but it'll spell it out for you in a very cool way.
This is definitely one for the list for all those of you who like language play and the biology kind of stuff, like a Peter Watts or a Neil Stevenson, those kind of.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, definitely the forefather of those ideas. Many books. We've like had Babel 17 in the suggested reads section of like many of our videos because it's like the progenitor of this like big important idea, which is great and well done and fun. And Delany's like a crazy writer too.
Yeah,
still alive.
Really interesting prose style, and the world in the story is fun, and the action is fun. And for those of you who read Dahlgren, this is like 30 hours shorter than Dahlgren and totally different and happens in space. So if you're still confused about how you feel about Dahlgren, so am I.
I haven't read Dahlgren. I read Einstein Intersection, which was fine, but not as good as Babel 17. But Cody read Dahlgren, and you texted me so much while you were reading that book. Like, you just kept being like, well, they're still just really getting after it.
Yeah. But Babel 17 is really good. Really good. Okay. Here's a good one that's a little bit of another metonymy, part for the whole. We've got All Systems Red by Martha Wells. You could really choose a lot of the Murderbot books, but let's just go with the first one, because why not? Murderbot is a character. It's a robot that is incredibly, incredibly efficient and good at killing because it's been programmed to do that, and that's in fact its job. But what it really wants to do is watch soap operas or ingest other media. Sanctuary Moon. Ingest other media and relax, much like many of us do.
But Dr. Mensa is always making him do math tests. That's not quite true, but Dr. Mensa is great.
Yeah, Dr. Mensa is one of the characters that Brent's referring to. So Murderbot goes on a lot of adventures. All Systems Red particularly, it's the first adventure. There's a lot of competence porn in the action of Murderbot, but truly, as you've said, the best thing about them is the voice of Murderbot. Murderbot is the narrator, and just the cynicism and the laziness and the descriptions are all so fun and relatable, and it just makes Murderbot just makes for an incredible character. And all these novels are really fun and quick.
Yeah, for sure. I really love. I mean, Murderbot's like popcorn. Like, it can't be bad. It's just short, great.
Yeah, I do feel I feel like we've called it popcorn before, and I almost have come to respect it a little more over time as beyond that, because the character of Murderbot is interesting as a human connection point that you don't get in a lot of the popcorn reads. So maybe it's a little maybe a little better than that even. I really like Murderbot.
Do you think that Murderbot is as good as Sanctuary Moon? Like as good as Murderbot thinks Sanctuary Moon is?
Yeah, we're probably on an even. Yeah, I would say that it's probably par.
That's high praise, dude.
That's a wash. Yeah, it's not a Babel 17 Dahlgren situation. Okay, what else is that's a pretty new one. What else is new?
Tusks of Extinction, newest on this list from this year.
By Ray Nayler.
Ray Nayler, yep. Your boy Ray just came out with a novella about, which is so great. Okay, so there used to be these animals called mammoths. They were big and they were furry. And then we killed all of them. One of the first creatures we really got, you know what I mean? And but then we invented science and we started to feel bad about that. And we found some old ones in the ice and we got their DNA and we cloned them in elephants. That's sick. Simultaneously, we were also killing all the elephants. We also like to do that. And there's this woman who is a ranger in, I can't remember, I think she was in several African countries. Anyway, she was trying to protect the elephants, didn't succeed. The elephants got killed. Also, she got killed. Tough day for her in many ways. But when we cloned the mammoths, we also figured out how to inject her brain into the mammoth, her consciousness into the mammoth body. And so then she's like the matriarch of the herd and is trying to make sure the mammoths who we've brought back don't get killed by poachers. And she's sick at it. She's just wreaking havoc on poachers. It's the sweetest thing ever. It's like revenge porn for elephants. It's so sweet. I can barely contain how awesome it is. It's just really great. And there's not like a lot more depth to it than I just gave you, but it's just extremely well done and it's awesome.
Yeah, Tusks of Extinction is really interesting and cool, and it's so fun to get more Ray Nayler because the last book club actually we did on Mountain in the Sea, and that was really fun. And he's a very interesting, very science-heavy sci-fi writer who's writing right now. So I can't wait to read more Ray. Also, he made a video answering our book club's questions that is on our YouTube. If you want to check that out.
Yes, I've not seen that. Yeah, it's great. If you read and liked Mountain in the Sea, he like directly answers the questions from book club about what went on and all that stuff. Yeah, it was really, really awesome.
All right. And lastly, we have a fun book from the past again, which is one of the first Hugo winners for best novel, actually. The Way Station by Clifford D. Simak or Simak. It's one of the two, or
who knows. Great mystery at the beginning of this book, though.
Yes. The mystery is really fun. How old is this man who lives in this small rural house in the middle of nowhere? And what's he doing in there? Yeah.
He's been guarding this house for too long. There's like old people who are like, I remember that dude. He's been there like my whole life, but he looks younger than me now. Something weird's going on.
Yeah. And we don't want to spoil too much. So it's a good book. It's contained. It feels like it's setting. There's a small cast of characters, which keeps it tight and emotional. And it is a really good extraterrestrial exploration and a pretty optimistic novel. I really enjoyed The Trip, The Way Station.
It was good. I loved the beginning of that book. The end of The Way Station, I wish the beginning was so sweet and the end was like fine, in my opinion. But
I liked the ending.
The setup was like so sweet. It was just so sweet that it was like hard to follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, I liked the ending, and okay, I'm glad that you got a chance to detract on something in this episode, though, right at the last second, because God forbid.
I love to fart in the pudding.
God forbid we got away with one where you're just like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, but you like Way Station. I like Way Station. We both like all of these short reads, so we hope you do too. And we will see you next episode for
The Hugos. All the nominees. And then please also come join the Discord, vote on your favorite book to read in the book club, and then we'll read it. It'll be fun. So we'll see you there.
Yeah. See you next time, man.
Peace.
Peace.